and she was pissed off to the point where she may have wanted to call the police?
No.
Can you recall anything like that?
I just answered that 4 times.
Okay. Are you patient? All right. So no specific memory, no hassles with any girls whatsoever, not in the Westin Hotel? What does that mean?
I already answered this.
The Craigslist Killer is commonly associated with Philip Markoff, the well-heeled medical student who lured escorts to their death via classifieds posted on Craigslist, as if you needed another reason to background check online sellers. Markoff was far from the only murderer prowling online classifieds. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the Craigslist Killer and the true crime story that astonished an entire country. Philip Markoff was the son of Susan and Richard Markoff, a dentist in Syracuse, New York. He had an older brother, Jonathan Markoff, and a half-sister, whose father was Susan's second husband, Gary Carroll, a banker. He graduated in 2004 from Vernon Verona Sherrill High, where he was a member of the National Honor Society, the History Club, the Youth Court, and the school bowling and golf teams. After high school, Markoff attended SUNY Albany, where he was a pre-med student. He graduated from SUNY Albany in 2007 and applied for medical schools after taking the MCAT. He was a second-year medical student at Boston University School of Medicine at the time of the crimes. He was suspended from the school after criminal charges were filed against him. Markoff met Megan McAllister, a native of New Jersey, in 2005. While they were both volunteers at the Albany Medical Center Hospital emergency room. They were engaged to be married with their wedding planned for August 14th, 2009. McAllister was to have begun medical school in the fall of 2009. Markoff was suspected in 3 robberies, one of which included a murder. Tricia Leffler, an escort, was bound, gagged, and robbed at gunpoint on April 10, 2009 at the Westin Copley Palace Hotel in Boston. Julissa Brisman, who was posted as an advertisement online offering massage services, was found dead on April 14, 2009 at the Copley Marriott, also in Boston. Cynthia Melton, an exotic dancer offering lap dance services, was the victim of an attempted robbery on April 16, 2009 at a Holiday Inn Express in Warwick, Rhode Island. Police suspected that the 3 crimes, close in time and similar in many ways, were committed by the same person. Security camera footage, cell phone activity, and email evidence led police to suspect Markoff in the April 10th and April 14th incidences. He was arrested April 20th in Walpole, Massachusetts, while he and his fiancée were en route to Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. On April 21st, he was arraigned in Brisman's death. The prosecutor stated that the semi-automatic handgun, wrist restraints, and duct tape had been found in Markoff's apartment. Markoff pleaded not guilty. On May 4th, Rhode Island officials issued a warrant for Markoff's arrest in the April 16th incident, though the state's attorney general said that their prosecution would not go forward until the Boston charges were resolved. Markoff's trial was originally expected to begin in July 2010, but was later delayed to March 2011. Markoff's fiancée initially affirmed her belief in his innocence, calling him beautiful, inside and out. But on April 29th, she visited Markoff in jail to call off their wedding. On June 11th, she visited Markoff a second time and told him she did not plan to see him again for a very long period of time, if ever. Markoff made several suicide attempts while at Nashua Street Jail. One attempt was made 3 days after his arrest, an additional attempt after his fiancée broke up with him, and another attempt on the day his wedding was to have taken place. At various times, he was on suicide watch or in the jail's psychiatric unit. On August 15, 2010, 1 year and 1 day after his wedding was to have taken place, Markoff was found dead in his cell. He had used a knife, made from a pen and a piece of metal, to cut arteries in his ankles, legs, and neck.
An autopsy is scheduled today for the so-called Craigslist Killer, who apparently committed suicide in a Boston jail Sunday. 24-year-old Philip Markoff was awaiting trial for the brutal murder of a masseuse he met online.
The same weekend, Philip Markoff was found dead in his cell. He should have been celebrating his 1-year wedding anniversary. But last year, his fiancée called off the engagement after discovering he was the alleged Craigslist killer.
I asked that the defendant be held without bail.
Markoff's trial was in less than 8 months, but police sources say he took his own life Sunday by cutting himself repeatedly with a jail-issued razor and suffocating himself with a garbage bag from his cell trash can.
He had also swallowed toilet paper and tightened a plastic bag over his head with gauze. Additionally, he had written his former fiancée's name and their pet names for each other in blood on the wall, and photographs of the two of them were scattered about.
When the information, though, came out a little over a year ago about the crimes that he had been accused of, including murder, what were your thoughts at that point based on the picture that was painted and the man that you knew?
I was just dumbfounded. It's so scary that the possibility that you could maybe know someone who is capable of something like this. It was just, I was shaking. I went and I woke up my parents, and I was instantly thinking back to that time and wondering if I had seen something